Hi everybody, this is Katie with Z Olive. I am back in my kitchen this evening and not at the Z Olive store because tonight I am making meatballs and I am going to show you a little more of the cooking process. So I needed an actual kitchen and I don't unfortunately have a finished product to show you right away, but I will show it later, I promise. I just didn't want to make two batches because I didn't want to end up with a ton of meatballs for myself that I wasn't going to be able to eat all of. So without further ado, we will go on and get started. And just a little bit of a note here, you can honestly use any of the Z Olive olive oils for this recipe and most of the balsamics as well. I maybe wouldn't use a strawberry or a cherry, but you get what I'm saying. You can use a lot of the different flavors on these. But since meatballs are a really traditional Italian flavor, I'm going to just stick with our traditionals for this evening. So I'll be using our Italian herb olive oil and then our traditional balsamic vinegar. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start out this evening with a little over a pound of ground beef, but you could use like half beef, half pork. You could do some sausage, whatever you like to use for your meatballs, but for tonight I'm just using some ground beef. And you're going to add a little bit of breadcrumbs. This is half a cup of breadcrumbs, and this one has the Italian herbs in it, but you can just use plain breadcrumbs as well. So let's go ahead and pour that in there. This is a tablespoon of minced garlic, plus a little bit extra because I really love garlic, but I would suggest at least a tablespoon, and then you can add as much as you want depending on your preferences. I have a half a tablespoon of grated Parmesan cheese. Then I have 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried sage, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, all in here. And finally, you're going to just use salt and pepper just to your taste, whatever you prefer to have, whether that's a little bit more pepper, a little bit more salt. And pour that in there. You're going to need 1 egg. That's going to help let your meatballs stick together a little bit better. And then finally, you're going to use a tablespoon of Z Olive traditional balsamic vinegar, but you could get creative here and you could use our aceto balsamic vinegar, you could use our Toscano, you could do garlic chili, garlic cilantro, roasted garlic, hickory smoked, any of those. That will work for this recipe. Alright, so now it's time to get a little bit dirty. You're going to get your hand down in here. You might want to wear some plastic gloves, but you can just, get dirty and wash your hands after as well. You're going to mix all of this together by hand. I like doing it by hand because it really gets mixed well together and it starts really packing the ingredients in together as well. So I like to do it by hand. If you don't want to do that, you of course can use a stirring utensil of some kind, but I really do recommend the hand method. So I'm going to set that off to the side for now because I did already make some for you. After you get to this step here, you're going to start making your little meatballs. These are about a diameter of around 2 inches, like this. You just roll them out. You can make them bigger or smaller. If you do it at this size, this is 20 meatballs. This made 20 meatballs. So if you need more, if you need less, if you like them bigger, smaller, again, totally personal preference. So what you're going to do when you get to this step, you can either bake your meatballs or you can put them in a frying pan and cook them on top of the stove. If you're gonna bake them, I usually put them in the oven, depending on how your oven cooks, at around 350 to 375, and cook them until they're browned all the way through. And before you put them in the oven, you just want to spritz them with a mister with your olive oil. Just spritz the top of them and spritz your pan so they don't stick to your pan. I'm gonna cook them on the stove top tonight. So what I've done is I have started heating our olive oil in the pan here. Like I said, I am using our Italian herb infused olive oil, and you don't need a whole lot of it. Just pour a little bit in there, basically enough to coat the bottom of your pan and have a little bit of extra. You don't want a lot sitting in there and then make your meatballs really greasy. So once that is heated, it is okay to get it pretty hot. You want to make sure it's pretty hot, but you don't want to bring it past its smoke point. But once it's ready, you can go on and start sticking your meatballs in the pan here. Mine probably needs to be heated a little bit more, but I want to go on and show you guys. And you'll continue to set your meatballs in there as you go. Turn them as you're cooking them. They'll start to brown and get that really nice crispy texture on the outside. Cook them as long as you'd want. I personally like them when they're cooked all the way through and browned all the way through, but it is beef, so if you like them a little pink in the center, that's all right. Once they're done, you can go ahead and turn off your stove and leave the olive oil in there with your meatballs. You'll add your pasta sauce to the pan, and you can use a store-bought pasta sauce, or if you're adventurous and you want to make your own, you can do that too. I didn't have time to make a pasta sauce tonight along with the meatballs, but maybe that would be a great video in the future to do and show you guys how to make a pasta sauce. We'll see. But yeah, you'll just put your pasta sauce in the pan with your meatballs, heat it and stir those up a little bit, and then you're ready to put it on your pasta. So it's super easy. It's really delicious. It's a great Italian flavor, and like I said, you can switch it up with different flavors from the olive. If you don't want to use the Italian herb olive oil, you could use Tuscan herb, garlic chili, sun-dried garlic parmesan. Lots of different options. So unfortunately, like I said, I don't have a finished product to show you like I normally do because I didn't want to end up with 40 meatballs for myself. But I will, as soon as these are done cooking, I will take a picture. I will share it on the Olive Facebook page. So make sure you have gone and liked and followed the Olive Facebook page. That way you can see the finished product. And then also, if you do that, you'll get a notification for when we do another cooking video, which will be next month. And if you've missed any of our previous cooking videos that we've done, you can go onto our Facebook page and go to the Facebook Lives tab, and all of our previous videos are there. If you do try out the meatballs, let us know. Post a video, post a picture, tag the Olive, let us know what you think. Let's see, Laura said, I love making meatballs with Tuscan herb. I love the Tuscan herb too. It's actually my favorite, but I wanted to do a really traditional Italian flavor tonight, so I went with the Italian herb instead. But yes, Tuscan herb is really good as well. So yeah, again, let us know what you think if you make this recipe. We always want to hear from you guys and hear what you think of our products. So make sure you are following our Facebook page. We hope to hear from you all soon. We'll look forward to seeing you again next month, and I hope you have a good evening. Bye.